You see, guys, the absolute way of having a mindset that's really grateful, for example, you have to realize that when you speak more words, you're actually more grateful. You understand? So, the whole key to life is understanding exactly where you're coming from. You guys need to understand that no matter what happens, you have to speak more words if you want to understand how to deliver your information properly. But not just that. I promise you, when you speak more words, you'll be able to understand exactly where you're going and how you're doing things. So you have to realize that it's much more about perspective of mind, isn't it? You have to understand how that if you grow, then you're going to grow to the fullest, and you're going to make sure every single day that you're going to do something today to make sure that your life is improving. You understand? You have to every single day understand how to love your life so that you can have a greater mindset, so that you can do much better in life for yourself. You have to understand that my content is all about growth. You understand? It's all about helping you to understand something much better for yourself. So you have to realize that if you didn't read my book, The Power of Words, you can find it on amazon.com.au. Just type in The Power of Words, Danny Milivojevic, and you'll find me. And you have to realize that no matter what happens, that things in that book that I talk about is something that's going to unlock your key potential. And you have to realize it's much more how you have to realize that if you're not going seminars today and if you're not creating events around people, then you're not really successful, are you? You understand? So you have to realize that true success lies in your ability to make events around people. You understand? So the moment you can make events around people and make more common sense about everything, the better your life's going to be. You understand? So you have to realize that if you want to do better, you have to understand, you have to study, you have to grow. You have to understand to follow people, okay? Follow people and get their information. And then once you get the information, pass it on as quickly as possible. Apparently, that's the whole point of business, and that's the whole point of life and achieving great things. You have to understand that if you understand anything about life, then you have to understand to not know nothing, okay? And know nothing about life. You understand? Because the thing is that you can never understand life, even though you can. You understand? You have to realize that in life, it's a contradiction. You understand? Life is a contradiction of words. Life is a contradiction of theories. Life is a contradiction of facts and figures. Life is just a contradiction of everything. You understand? So you have to understand that, for example, when I started life coaching, for example, I didn't understand exactly how I was going to go about it. You understand? So when I really started first to write things down, I remember a moment in my life where I was like writing this story down, and it's like nobody else cared about my story. I realized nobody else cared about where I was at in my life. And I realized that over time, the more I wrote things down, like, for example, writing things down, and by that I mean when I'm writing things down, I'm writing it down via audio programs, I'm writing everything down via video programs, I'm writing everything down in any fashion that I can, even in music production. You understand? So you have to realize that because I write things down, I then have content to deliver to other people. And because I have a lot of content every single day that I create from myself, then I understand exactly my path and how I'm crafting this kind of success in my life. And success doesn't happen overnight, even though it does. You understand? So small successes happen every single day, but you have to be aware about those small successes in your life. Because eventually, 10,000 successes make up this massive big success. In a sense, so you have to realize that you have to count the small wins in your life. And the small wins in your life means common sense. I mean, just being able to make common sense. So, for example, when I'm making music, for example, I realize that when I look back at my tracks in terms of the soundtracks that I made before, then I understand my errors. I understand exactly where I was doing way worse. I understand exactly how to go about it now because I see from my past recollection of music in terms of how I was making it before, I can see exactly where I was going wrong and I can see exactly where I was going right. In a sense, so the thing is that there is no wrong or right, and it's all for the journey, and it's all for the music experience and for the words. So I realized that the power to speak words, for example, you have to realize that you have to change topics. You have to change topics really quickly if you want to keep the interested audience much more interested. You understand? So you have to realize that everyone's unique to their own ability, but everyone holds the power in their voice. Okay? And if you can speak your voice, if you can every single day speak those words of yours, then you can do anything. I promise you, success happens so fast and so slow at the same time. You understand? So you have to realize that in life you can go in all directions, but you have to speak the words of everything if you want to understand it. In a sense, so life is all about understanding how to communicate yourself into the planet. And when you understand how to communicate into the planet your words, then you can understand how to do anything. So you have to realize it's much more how you have to unlock your key potential. You have to unlock your true potential. So once you unlock your true potential, what happens is you start growing faster, you start being more compassionate, you start being kinder to the world around you, you start being much more spiritual, you start being much more confident in yourself, you're overcoming challenges. I mean, everything's going great for you. You understand? And that's the whole key of life, is to make sure that your life is going great for you. You understand? To make sure that you're making common sense about everything. So the thing is that I understand when I first started to do what I do, I understand that I didn't have much direction in my life. Do you know why? Because I didn't speak a lot of words. I didn't talk a lot of words, and that's why I didn't find that path that I was meant to be on. But eventually, because I kept living in my faith, I kept living because I understand that back in my life, I wanted to commit suicide. You understand? I was thinking about suicide. You understand? I was thinking about it. I didn't do it. I didn't hurt myself. But I was thinking about suicide. I was thinking about crashing my car on the highway while I'm driving 100 kilometers per hour, and just to turn the wheel of the car in some direction so that I flipped my car on the freeway. I was thinking about it. You understand? I was very close, to be honest. And if I was unaware, I probably would have done it. And then also I was thinking about getting a knife, a butcher knife, and to cut my throat, for example, just stab my throat and die out of suffocation. And then I was thinking to drown in a bathtub. You understand? Well, you understand? So you have to realize that it's much more how those times were tough for me, you know, because I didn't have much going for me. I didn't have my sense of clarity that I needed. And where does all my clarity come from now? It comes from my ability to speak words. So what fuels my passion and what fuels my music production and what fuels my life coaching and my life now is the words I speak. I promise you, nothing else energizes me except the words I speak. So the only energy that I really get from life is the words I speak. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, there's nothing else in the world I'd rather do than speak words. I'd rather speak words than make music. You understand? And it's much more how when I speak words, I lead myself into music as well by speaking those words. So I say to myself, I have to go do music. I want to learn myself. I want to learn to do music. I want to do music much better. So I say that to myself. And then I go and make music, for example. So your words determine your path. In a sense, so the better you speak your words, the better your life, the better your path, the better everything in your life. In a sense, so you have to realize that it's about mindset. It's about growing, and it's about being united in one. You understand? Being free to do whatever you want to do in this planet, being able to travel, being able to dream everything that you ever want to dream and speak it into fruition. So I want to teach you something about the 7 laws of success. Okay? It's just speak words. I promise you, if you speak words, you've achieved the 7 laws of success, which are confidence, courage, integrity, kindness, generosity, success, and faith. In a sense, so you have to realize that no matter what, that you are what you attract, okay? And you have to realize that if a woman or a man doesn't go for you, it's because of the words you're speaking. I promise you, nothing else. In a sense, so if you want to attract a beautiful woman or a beautiful woman into your life, then you have to speak much more words in order for that to happen. You have to speak more words intentionally every single day. And the more words you speak, the better your life, the more you can go places, the more you can do things, the more you can enjoy your life. Because you have to understand why. Because you can speak your mind. Have you ever heard that quote before? Speak your mind. Because when you speak your mind, you realize that you have much more faith. You have much more reason. You have much more to give. You have much more kindness. You have much more generosity. You have much more confidence in yourself because you can speak words. Do you know what women and men look for in a woman or man? They look for confidence. They look for someone who can speak words. And if you can speak words to them and attract them with your words and sell them on your words, you can do anything. Yes, and so you have to realize that you can do that, but it's in your ability to speak words. I promise you, anybody can speak words. I promise you, a little baby can speak words. In a sense, so what makes the really successful people differentiate between success and failure? What makes the really successful successful, and what makes the failures failures? In a sense, so words is the only thing that differentiates the two. In a sense, the only difference between the successful people and the people who have failed in life is the words they've spoken, and in how they spoke that, and in how they spoke those words. In a sense, so you have to realize that if you're someone who doesn't have a voice for words, then you have to start really understanding your life. You have to understand that those people who don't have a voice for the words that they speak, if they don't have a voice for the words they speak, then you have to realize that it starts with you, and it starts with your ability to communicate. And the more you communicate into the planet your thoughts and your vibration and what you have come here to do, for example, you have to realize the more you communicate that, the more you can understand exactly your path. And now most people in life are just lost. I promise you, they're just lost. They don't know what they're doing. They're working 9 to 5 jobs. They don't know exactly how to create success. You understand? But I understand something that these people don't. I understand that if I speak more words intentionally, and I seek out to speak more words in every fucking situation that I can, that I will be much more successful than those people. Because I understand that it's in the power of words that I can do it. In a sense, so I'm attracting my life. I'm attracting everything that's coming to me right now through the words I'm speaking. So you have to realize that if I speak good words, I attract good into my life. If I speak, whatever I speak in terms of any word out there, then I attract more of that. So the reason I'm confident in what I say is because I come from experience, I come from wisdom, I come from a sense of integrity, I come from a sense of passion and will and faith and generosity. Yes, and so I realize that I'm giving more than my peers. Yes, and I'm giving more than them. Yes, and because every single day I'm always posting content online. Because it's not about my legacy. It's more about helping people. You understand? I realized I don't care about my legacy, to be honest. I don't want a big legacy, but I want to help people so much. And now, whatever happens to be in that moment that I create something in whatever it is, I realize that it's the words that's going to get me there. You understand? So the ability to get from one point to another is your ability to speak those words. So in your ability to speak more words is what's going to get you through this moment. And it's what can, I promise you, and it's what's going to create meaning in your life. So the more you speak words, the better your mindset, the better your sense of everything that you are. You understand? You have so much potential in you, I promise you. You have so much potential because you have a certain way that you can speak those words into the planet. You understand? And nobody can speak those words like you. You understand? But you can never, ever speak the words like I do. You understand? You can never be me. You understand? You can never be Danny Milivojevic. You can only ever be you. You understand? So you have to realize that I can never be you, and you can never be me. You can never be other people either. I can never be other people. You understand? So the whole point is for ourselves, to be original and to be unique, and to make sure that our life is prosperous, to make sure that we're going on a path of success, to make sure that we're going somewhere with our lives so that we can help the planet to somehow do greater, and to make sure that we benefit a lot of people in the process. And now, at this point in my life, I don't really care if I amass a lot of following in my life, because for me, it's not about a lot of following. I don't really care about that. I really care about just helping people and letting people see the true me. You understand? Letting people see that I'm authentic. I want to let people see my true side. I want to let people see who I am in my heart, so that I can inspire them to live a greater life, so that I can inspire them to help other people, so that I can inspire kindness in this world. You understand? So I stand for a lot of things, you understand? But everything that I stand for is all the words in a dictionary. You understand? So you have to realize that no matter what, that my life is going somewhere, guys. You have to understand. And because my life is going somewhere, I'm going somewhere with my words. You understand? I'm going to a different place. I'm living in different places at different times. And because I'm understanding that my words lead me everywhere, I get to travel every single day. I get to every single day go into this zone and just write all my material down. I get to drop my thoughts down. I get to help myself to succeed. And that's the whole point of the journey, isn't it? It's just to make sure that your life is it's just to make sure that your life is a success. To make sure that you're enjoying the journey while you are living life. And so you have to realize that if you ever need to be happy, you have to speak words. You have to understand that life is every single day happening for you, and you have to realize that you have to make something out of everything that you're doing. You know, saying you have to every single day understand what you talk about and just keep talking the words, and then suddenly more words come to you about what to talk about. And it's like God is sending you a message to send to other people, and you're just the messenger of God, for example. And all these words are coming to you, and you're just like here to process that information, to speak it out into the planet, and to make sure that you market yourself as much as possible so that you can help people, not because of your legacy, but because you want to help people. You understand? So Mother Teresa, for example, is someone of great service. You understand? So is Mahatma Gandhi, so is John F. Kennedy, and so is also, what's his name? Jesus Christ. And you have to realize that these people are all people of great service. You understand? So great service means everything. And you have to realize that the more you have a great service of mind, and the more you make common sense and logic in your life, that, hey, someday you can also do something that's amazing, that other people can understand that you can do it now, but you have to realize that you have to unlock that in your life. But you have to realize that you have to throw so many words at people. You understand? And the more words you throw at people, and the more you get yourself into a teaching frame of mind, the more you teach yourself how to make common sense, and the more people will see who you truly are. So everyone stands for something, you know. So the thing is that, for example, I started Toastmasters before in my life, and I really needed to start Toastmasters. And Toastmasters is a public speaking program that people go there to be able to finish courses, to finish public speaking courses, and to be able to also boost their confidence and to be around people and socialize. So after a year, I took it upon myself to go busking, and I left Toastmasters. And because I went busking, I went in front of all these people to speak. And I spoke for over 280 hours on the street. Imagine every single day waking up and just going 1 hour to 3 hours a day in front of people speaking words. Imagine the amount of words I said in 270 hours. Imagine all those words that I spoke in my life. Not in my life, but in my life also. You know, so the thing is that because I'm the sum up of all my words, you understand? My success is all my words that I've ever spoken. You understand? Because it's only through ever speaking that you can actually achieve. You understand? So the more you speak, the more you achieve. And the more you achieve, the more you have. And the more you have, the more you can give. You understand? So the thing is that you have to realize that because I spoke all these words, I'm suddenly now successful the way I am today. I am doing everything in my life that I can every single day to make sure that I benefit people. But because I went in front of people to speak those words, I boosted my confidence. Do you know how? Because I spoke the words, not because I was in front of people. I didn't boost my confidence because I was in front of people. I boosted my confidence because I was speaking words. And that's the only way you boost confidence in your life. You don't boost your confidence in any other manner except through speaking words. I mean, what is this audio program to you? I promise you, it's all full of confidence, isn't it? Do you know how? Because I spoke the words. I spoke the words the whole time. And because I spoke the words the whole time, that made me confident. So true confidence, and if you really want to attract true confidence into your life, then what you need to do is speak more words. And then you attract true confidence in your life. So if you want to attract more courage into your life, speak more words. And you attract more courage into your life. If you want to attract generosity in your life, then speak more words. And then you attract more generosity in your life. If you want to attract more kindness into your life, then speak more words. And you attract more kindness into your life. If you want to attract more love into your life, then speak more words. And you attract more love into your life. If you want to attract more faith in your life, then you have to speak more words, because that's how you attract more faith in life. So you have to realize that if you want to attract more riches and more richness in your life, then speak more words, and you will attract just that, and you will attract richness and riches into your life. So whatever you want, you can attract, but it all starts with your words. So the only way to attract things into your life is to speak more words. I mean, imagine if we were in high school right now or elementary school, and some teacher was talking to us about what I'm talking to you about here. I mean, imagine that we're sitting in a classroom somewhere and someone is speaking this information to you in a classroom while we are younger. You understand? And the thing is that we will be able to learn so much from this information. And why is that? Because it teaches all ways. This teaches you everything about life. You understand? So you have to realize that the thing is that the law of attraction, okay, is all about speaking words. You understand? It's about understanding where you're coming from. You understand? Understanding exactly what you're going to say and why you're going to say it and how you're going to say it. You understand? What you speak about is not as important as how you speak about it. You understand? So you have to realize that what I'm saying to you is something, but I'm showing you how. You understand? I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing in my life to attract a greater life for myself. You understand? So you have to realize that if you go to a seminar and you create a seminar around people and you're just speaking words, I promise you these people are going to be so inspired by you. Do you know why? Because you're just speaking words. So if you want to have a conversation with anybody, you have to speak words. If you want to go up to that woman and talk to them in a way that you attract them, then you have to understand how to speak the words to be able to attract that person. In a sense, so it's more in what you give than what you take. It's more of a blessing to give information than it is to take information. In a sense, so I read somewhere recently that in life, you have to give 90% of the time and consume 10% of the time. In a sense, so you have to realize that creating something is much more important than consuming something. In a sense, so when you're consuming something, you're in a passive state. You're like watching a TV, for example. Whoever is in a passive state of mind is just like someone watching TV and just looking at the TV. But anything that's creating something is proactive. You have to be proactive in life if you want to achieve greatness, if you want to achieve a greater sense of clarity or abundance in your life. In a sense, so you have to realize that time goes really quickly and it's already been 27 minutes in this audio program. But I'm enjoying this audio. I'm enjoying talking about this audio program because I understand that it's helping my life, okay? First of all, it's helping my life to succeed. Do you know why? Because I just repeat this information and I just repeat it a lot of the time in a different way. And because I do, I make more common sense out of it. And because I make more common sense about what I talk about, then I can use this information, which is my blueprint, to go around making events around people and talking about it even more. In a sense, so the thing is that if you want to achieve a greater way of lifestyle, you have to understand how to talk. You understand? You have to understand how to communicate your needs and wants. In a sense, so you have to realize that I want a Ferrari, but I don't need a Ferrari. In a sense, so the thing is that you have to realize you have to differentiate what your wants are and what your needs are. You need somewhere to live, okay? You need somewhere to live, okay? But, for example, I want to travel to Spain, but I don't need to travel to Spain. You understand? But I must have somewhere to live. You understand? So make sure that you're always understanding what you need in life. You understand? Because that's what you actually need. You understand? So the thing is that no matter what happens, make sure every single day you're always looking for ways to improve. Making sure you're looking for ways to speak. Making sure you're looking for ways to do something of common sense that's going to benefit you in the long run. Yes, and so what benefits me in the long run, okay, is helping people. In a sense, so the more I help people, the more I help myself. In a sense, so I look for things in my life where I don't have to travel in a way that I travel, but I look for ways in life where I don't have to trade my time for money. Because money is not my sole purpose, and money does not drive me to do something in life. Money is just a number, okay? It's not evil. Money is not evil. But pursuing money alone is evil, okay? Do you know why? Because you rather speak the words anyway. I'd rather speak the words than travel in life. I'd rather speak the words than solely go for money. You understand? I'd rather speak words over money. I'd rather speak words over everything in life. You understand? So the thing is that words is everything to me. Words means God to me. You understand? So the ability to create words is the most, apparently it's the most spectacular thing in life. It's miracles. Apparently it's something so beautiful. It's like rainbows in the sunshine. Apparently it's much more how you have to realize that words create space and meaning. And words create everything that you ever want. As long as you can utilize your own words to be able to create the life you want, I promise you, then you understand what I mean. You understand? So you have to realize that no matter what, it starts with your words and how you speak those words. It starts with how you speak your words on a daily basis. Okay, so look at me closely here. I'm talking about how do you speak to your mum, and how do you speak to your dad, and how do you speak to other people around you? I mean, how do you speak to them? How do you talk to them? So first of all, you have a certain way that you communicate to those people in words. In a sense, so figure out how do you speak to those people on a daily basis. In a sense, how do you speak to people on a daily basis? That's what you have to study. That's what you have to learn. You have to learn how do you communicate to other people. And now, how do I communicate to you in this audio program? Well, you have to understand I'm just making things up. I'm making everything up, but it's working. You understand? My information is working for me. You understand? But I'm making it up as I go along. You understand? I'm just making things up. I mean, how did Tony Robbins and all these successful people become successful? They just made it up. They're making shit up. You understand? That's it. It's all it is. They're just making their life. You understand? They're making everything up. But they're talking common sense, aren't they? You understand? Common sense is what gets you success. You have to realize that if you want to succeed so badly, then you have to really understand to speak words right now as much as possible. In a sense, so you have to realize that no matter what happens in your life, you have to remember that if you never want to commit suicide, then that's a good thing. But you have to realize that in order to never commit suicide, you have to speak more words. You understand? So you have to realize that you have to listen to me closely here. So look at my words and look at where my words are pointing to you. Approach, look at where my words are going. Look at where my words are pointing you in that direction. You understand? My words are pointing you in a certain direction where you must go. You must go and live in the words. You must understand that because I talk words all day long, that's all I am. I promise you, nothing else am I except for the words I speak. You understand? And you have to realize that no matter what, that because I make much more common sense about everything right now, you have to realize it's much more how I enjoy the journey of talking words. I talk words so much with myself that I enjoy my life because I have so much meaning in my life. And so it's much more about understanding how to actually communicate your business, understanding that your business is the words business, and understanding now what to do. Since you have to realize that no matter what happens, that no matter what, your life has to be more words or nothing else. Okay, so you have to realize that every single day, if you want to achieve much more in life, you have to understand that you have to speak more words than your friends. You have to speak more words than everyone else. You have to speak more words than me. You have to speak more words than Jesus Christ. You have to understand that Jesus Christ said to us that we can speak and that we can do more than him. Okay? So you have to realize that those people who speak more words have more success than other people. You understand? So you have to realize that's why I'm saying that if this video, in terms of this audio program, has unlocked something in you that's shown you exactly what I do, which is speak more words intentionally, is what I do. I just speak more words intentionally. Then you understand how I go about things. And now I don't know what my words in terms of life are going to be. You understand? But I understand exactly how to get my message across and how to understand how to understand. I understand something that I don't know anything about life. I don't know anything, but something that I'm doing is making common sense. You understand? Something that I'm saying is ringing a bell to me, and it's making me wiser, and it's making me think much better, and it's making me to prosper a lot in my life. And that's all I'm giving to you in this audio program is my prosperity, my richness, my abundance. You have to understand that if you want to be a knowledge freak, you understand, you have to realize something, that you have to grow. You have to grow as fast as possible. So you have to realize also that I made a website before in my life, and it was called knowledgefreak.com. You understand? But I didn't go ahead with the website in that sense. But I went ahead with the website in other ways on different social media platforms and stuff. So you have to realize that because I did, I understand much better about what I'm doing right now, because that pointed me in a certain direction to go for the knowledge. Do you know what my phone wallpaper says? It says knowledge. My phone wallpaper. So every single time I look at my phone, I look at the word knowledge. That's all I want in my life. Nothing else. And because I want something, I get it. You understand? But how do I get it? I get it through talking words. So the only way to really accumulate knowledge is to speak more words intentionally. You understand? So the more intentional you are about life, the better for you. You have to be so intentional to speak words every single day that you can achieve anything you ever want. You understand? It's just that simple. So the thing is that the road of the subject of words is such a topic that everyone needs to understand. Everyone needs to understand this audio program. So please share this audio program with other people who need this support from me. You understand? So you have to realize that no matter what, you have to understand every single day, try to always understand exactly where you're going and why you actually are doing what you do. You understand? So you have to realize that you have to get to a point of mindset where you're understanding exactly how to talk to other people. You understanding exactly how you're actually coming off across as well, which is so important, which is your tones in terms of the tone of your voice has to be on point. Okay, it has to be really influential, and it has to be something that's really going to inspire people. You understand? You have to be able to inspire people daily as much as possible in different ways. You understand? But the different ways of life are the words you speak. You understand? So whatever is happening in your life, you have to make sure that you make common sense of everything much more, so that you can make events around people, so that you can expand even more, and so that you can be much more authentic in your life. Because it's only through making events with other people, through your own events, so making your own events around other people, can you be more authentic than you are. You understand? So you have to realize that other people have done it before you. You understand? But nobody has quite done it like me. You understand? Nobody has lived life like me. You understand? Nobody has experienced life like I have. You understand? And that's my unique edge. I promise you, and that's your unique edge. That you also have a unique life that nobody else has lived. You have unique experiences. You have a unique set of mindsets in yourself. You have a unique set of skills. And you have to realize that you have to use this to your potential. But how do you use it? You speak more words. You have to understand that's the only way you can use your skills. You understand? You speak more words, but you look for intentional ways of speaking more words. You understand? So when you intentionally speak those words of yours, just speak words. It's so simple. If you want to achieve your life, and if you want to achieve much more in your life, I promise you nothing else. I promise you have to realize that no matter what happens, I promise you every single day, stick to the words and stick to every single day understanding exactly what you need to do, exactly in your faith, in your honor, in your duty, and in your responsibility to give to people your words. Okay, because that's the meaning of life. That is what this video is about, and that's what you have to understand. And you have to understand that no matter what happens in your life right now, you have to understand that you have to grow yourself the most you can. And it's more than ever right now that you need to be successful. And I want you to be successful because you can see in my voice, you can see in my tones, you can see in my words that I'm trying to make you more successful. I'm trying to give to you. I'm trying to give from my heart. You understand? To give you something to make sure that your experience is much better so that you can understand that eventually when I make it in my life to bigger events where I'm creating a lot of events around people, that you can someday come to my events and fucking maybe even shake my hand and say thank you for helping me or something like that. And that will mean so much to me. You understand? That I helped you in some kind of way. You understand? So that's the whole point. So you have to realize that that's where you want to come to that stage. You want to come to the stage where other people are thanking you for your help, that other people are thanking you for your credibility and for your support and for your network and for your connection, that other people are understanding exactly where you're coming from and that you're always here to support people and here to give your hand of advice to other people. You understand? So you have to realize that not everyone is keen on listening to your advice. You understand? Because not everyone is open-minded. You understand? Not everyone wants to learn. Not everyone wants to do better. You understand? Because they're unaware. They're unaware. They don't know how to speak words. Apparently, they're 60 years of age, they're 70 years of age, they're 80 years of age, they're 90 years of age, and they don't know how to speak words. They don't know how to speak words. You understand? So the thing is that I don't know how to speak words, but I understand better than they do because I speak more words intentionally. That's why. And that's what makes me more successful than them. You understand? I'm more successful than that 100-year-old man because I speak more words intentionally than he does. You understand? And that's why you have to understand that is why success happens for a reason. You understand? So it happens for a reason, doesn't it? And what's the reason? The reason is speak more words. You understand? So if you speak more words, you have a reason for everything. You understand? And then when you have a reason for everything, then life starts to happen for you. It starts to really happen in ways that you've never done it before. You have to understand that that's why you need to succeed so much. You have to every single day be on your best behavior. You understand? You have to every single day do the best you can in everything that you do. You understand? So every single day you have to enjoy your life as much as possible. So every single day you enjoy your life as much as possible, then you understand that if you speak more words intentionally, like I do and like you do, for example, from now on, you understand that you can grow yourself in massive ways. You can grow yourself in different ways, the best way you can. And you understand that that's what's going to expand your mindset. That's what's going to help your mindset to grow. That's what's going to help you to do better in all areas of life. And you'll be able to enjoy your life like everybody else. You understand? So the thing is that you have to understand that not everyone is enjoying their life. And not everyone is aware to the point that I am. But they're not aware like me because they don't speak more words intentionally. You understand? So the thing is that if there's anything that I can teach a woman or a man in life is how to speak their words. You understand? So the thing is that you have to realize that it's a unique subject. In a sense, so you have to realize that the only person that can really teach you is you. In a sense, so you have to realize that all I'm really saying is that I can force a person, I can force a woman, I can force a man in my life in a way that I'm supporting them to really, really speak those words from themselves. And I can teach them by their support and by their network and connection on how to do it. You understand? So, for example, the reason, like, for example, you have to understand something, that if I go and say this, then you have to realize it's me being really generous, isn't it? I promise you, it's me being understanding of everything. So you have to realize that, for example, that if I go to a stage where I have a woman in my life and stuff, then I'll make sure that she journals so much down. And I'll be there to give her the compassion. I'll be there to give her everything that she needs in the process. And I'll make sure that she understands to write more content down. And the more she writes down, the more she'll understand. You understand? The more she plans her life, the better it is for both of our relationships to grow. You understand? So you have to realize that a marriage or any kind of relationship or friendship is connected through words. You understand? So the more words you speak to each other, the more connected you are to that person. You understand? So you have to realize that the reason something happens for a reason, or the reason that other people are disconnected from life is because they're not speaking more words. You understand? So the thing is that those people who do speak more words are more connected to reason, and they're more connected to something that is much more in a greater sense of mind. You understand? So you have to realize that all those women that have been in my life, for example, I've made so much mistakes in my life. Like, for example, you have to realize that I wasn't thinking the best for them, you know, in my life. I was only thinking about pleasure. I was only thinking about other things like drugs and stuff and pornography and other stuff. And you have to realize that I wasn't doing the best in my life. You know, I wasn't trying to really help them in some kind of way. I didn't have any value much to give these people. In a sense, so because I didn't have a lot of value to give these people, I found that people were leaving my life one by one. Yes, and people were suddenly leaving my life. But then I got to a sense of recognition in my life, and I realized who my true friends are. You understand? And I left the crowd. I left that crowd, and I no longer hang around with those people. You understand? Do you know why? Because they offer me nothing. They offer me nothing of value. Do you understand? They give me nothing in life. Do you understand? They have no value to give me, so why would I be around them? You understand? So I have nothing to do with those people in my life. I don't go to kafansko veče or night clubbing, as it's called. You understand? So you have to realize that kafansko veče means that it's just a place where you go to listen to Serbian music or Balkan music, and to sit down, have a coffee, have a drink, and be with your so-called friends. You understand? So-called friends that will never help you to succeed. You understand? You have to realize that not everyone's your friend. Even though they're hanging around with you, they're not your friend. You understand? Because they can't travel with you around the world. You understand? They can't live with you. You understand? You can't even live with them. You can't even travel with them because they don't have the money for you. You understand? So the thing is that, yes, there is such thing as friendship in life. There is such thing as good friends and good family members and stuff like that. There is such thing as close people in life. But never get so close to people. Never be so close to people. Try to be further away from people. You understand? And I'm not saying to be disconnected from people. I'm saying don't allow people to be so close into your life. You understand? I promise you, only allow certain people to be closer to you than other people. You understand? So you have to realize that in my life, for example, nobody exactly knows how to get close to me. You understand? Nobody exactly knows how to get close to me. You understand? And the reason they don't know is because they don't try. And because they don't try, I'm happier. I'm happier because they don't want to get closer to me. You understand? Because this means I have more time for myself. Okay, first of all, I have more money for myself because I don't have to shout them drinks. I don't have to shout them food. I don't have to drive them around. You understand? I don't have to give them a lot of my time. You understand? So you have to realize that because they're not trying to get closer to me, I'm moving more toward my dream, man. You understand? I'm moving more toward my goals. I'm moving more toward business and creating things in my life. I'm moving more towards silence and spirituality and sales and business and everything to do with happiness. because I'm not with people. So why would I allow people into my life? And now I allow certain people in my life, okay, who deserve it. I allow certain people in my life who deserve to be in my life. But if they cause me violence, then they will no longer be in my life. I don't allow violence in my life, you understand? I don't allow people to treat me negatively, okay? And now, for example, with my mum and dad, I promise you have to realize it's different with them. They're my mum and dad. Regardless, they always mean the best for me. Do you understand? Even if they don't know, they always mean the best for me. But if a stranger, for example, which is a lot of people, and now I'm not saying that strangers is a bad thing. I'm not that kind of guy. Okay, you have to realize that. In life, you have to meet strangers. You have to meet a lot of people. Okay, I'm not saying for you not to meet people. I'm saying for you to go the way of happiness instead. I'm saying for you to go where your heart goes, where the words go. You understand? Your heart is where your words go. You understand? So, for example, let's just get back to my dad and mum, for example. So, for example, because they mean the best for me, you have to understand that I allow them to be in my life to a certain extent. But I don't tell them exactly what I'm doing all the time. You understand? Because you have to realize that as soon as I start creating a lot of content, then you realize how people start dropping off. So you guys have to realize that because I create a lot of content and stuff like that, then I find that the people around me are not as updated about me as they need to be. You understand? So the thing is that because if they were a lot more updated about what I do, they would understand much better about how to talk to me. They would understand exactly how to go about it. They would understand exactly what to do and why to do it. But because they don't involve themselves in my business, then I'm much happier. I'm much happier this way. You understand? So that's why I'm always staying away I'm staying away from people as much as possible, and I don't allow them to get very close to me, even though they're close to me. You understand? And how do I do this? I do this by creating a lot of content. And the more content I create, the more outdated these people are. They're so outdated about life because they're not creating their own content. They're not trying to help other people as much as I am. And some people get jealous. Some people see that I'm successful and don't want to say anything. You understand? So you have to realize that you always have to give detailed feedback to everything in life. Try to always inspire people. You understand? Try to inspire them to keep going, to understand that you give value to someone for something. You understand? Try to always be in a generous state of mind where you're talking words to these people in a way that you help them. You understand? So the thing is that not everyone wants to be helped. The thing is, you have to realize that you just have to go online and post your content somewhere where people can see it, but then eventually just create events around people and just make money from it. In a sense, so the thing is that it's not bad to make money. I'm not saying it's bad to make money. You have to understand that you deserve money in your life if you're helping people. You understand? I promise you, if you're helping a lot of people, then you deserve a lot of money in your life. In a sense, so the more help you have in life from other people and from yourself, the better you are. You understand? But the thing is also, the more you help other people because of what you understand through your words that you talk, then you understand exactly how to go about life and business and everything in life. You understand? So every single day you have to understand that no matter what happens, try to create lots of value. You understand? I mean, you have to understand that the more you create value in your life, the better your meaning, the better your success, the better everything in terms of your nature is going to be. You understand? So you have to realize that's why I'm creating so much content right now, because I understand that something is going to help me in life, and that's my words. I'm not seeking my words from other people. I can't get my words that I speak about from other people. I can't, even though I can from myself only. Yes, and the thing is that I can only get my words from myself. Yes, and so the thing is that my words are everywhere, okay? But the thing is that nobody can quite speak like I can, and that's what I'm saying. And now I can do anything in life, and I'm never limiting myself to my possibilities. You understand? But the thing is that nobody is quite going to speak like you are. Nobody is quite the persona like you are. And that's what I'm trying to say, that you are original to some extent. You are unique to some extent. You have certain ways of talking, words specifically, to be able to understand that's the path I want you to go in. I want you to go the path of your way of talking, your way of speaking, and talk more intentionally those words so that you can understand everything about life. And that's the whole point of understanding metaphors and everything around life. And you'll understand exactly what I mean when I speak more words, for example, in this audio program, just to help you, because that's what you must do for other people. Yes, and so every single day I'm understanding that no matter what happens in my life, I'm always trying to help as much as possible so that I can give content as much as possible. So I make long pieces of content, I make short pieces of content. At the same time, I'm trying to help people, and that's the whole point of living a godlike type of lifestyle. You know, so you have to realize, yeah, you're a creator. You know, you create things of your nature. Yes, and you create something that you are passionate about. And the only way you create anything in life is to talk words. Yes, and the only way you create anything in life is through words. In a sense, so the more words you talk, the more you create, and the more you get into creation, and the more you understand exactly how to achieve things, and how to be, and how to do anything that you ever want to do, because now you understand that your true key lies in the words you speak. In a sense, so being able to unlock your mindset, being able to every single day understand that no matter what happens, that you can also do something much better for yourself by speaking more words, by helping yourself to achieve a standard where you're greatness, where you're understanding that no matter what happens, that you're going to speak much more words now, because you can understand exactly how to talk, and you can understand exactly how to communicate. And because you understand exactly how to communicate, you understand exactly how to go about things now, because when you go about things now, in this moment, you're speaking more words anyway. And because you're speaking more words anyway, you're making more common sense with yourself. And that's the whole point of living a life of gratitude, and living a life of helping yourself to live a great lifestyle. Because the only way you can live in gratitude is to speak more words. Yes, and the more words you speak, the more grateful you are. So you have to realize that's how it is, and that's what I've learned today as well. Yes, and so you have to realize that I'm learning as I go along. I learn as much as I can every single day to speak as much words as possible. But do you know what Toastmasters doesn't allow me to do? I promise you, Toastmasters doesn't allow me to speak more words when I want to. You understand? They want me to observe them. You understand what they're doing? I promise you, the thing is that I don't want to do that. I want to observe myself and what I'm doing much more. Yes, and so the thing is, that's why I'm staying away from people, because I understand that speaking more words is more important than I promise you, because I'm not hanging around with people, because I understand that speaking more words is more important to me personally than hanging around other people. In a sense, so that's why I'm understanding that if I want to achieve success, or if I want to go to a better place in my life, then I have to understand how to speak the words of that. I have to understand how to attract it with my words. You understand? Because only my words, and by speaking more words, can I attract it. And I understand that. And I realize that the more content I do for other people in terms of words, the more I'll achieve, and the more success I'll have, and the more credibility, and the more everything I'll have. In a sense, so that's why I have to expand. I have to expand my comfort zone. And the only way I can do that is by speaking more words. You understand? So you have to realize that's the whole point of this audio program, has been to help you to unlock your own words, which you already have. You already have these words in you. You just have to be able to utilize your own words to your own advantage, to be able to speak the way you do much more often on paper. Yes, and speak much more often on paper intentionally and try to figure your life out through words. You understand? By speaking more words. And I say that by understanding that I mean really that you speak more words like that in an intentional way. You understand? Making sure that you're always understanding exactly where you're coming from, understanding that you utilize your words, your advice, your knowledge, your ideas onto paper, onto video, onto writing materials, onto everything that you can, in images and everything that you can, to speak more words through that. You understand? To make sure that you're intentionally speaking more words through yourself. You understand? So that you understand how to actually make common sense and logic today in this world, so that we can help you to every single day achieve a greater life. You understand? Because that's what I want for you. I want you to understand that you deserve a happy life, you deserve success, and I've given you a successful program in this audio program today, so that you understand that if you don't understand my words in this audio program, please go and repeat this information and listen to this information again, because I promise you, if you read the audio program or any type of program twice, you'll learn twice as much.